Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997, and this time I'm back with my first ever Mythic Legions review. Now, if you guys don't know what Mythic Legions is, it's a line run by the Four Horsemen who are just known for doing these amazing sculpts. And I've seen them for a while, but I've never picked any up. It's this amazing fantasy line. Me personally, I love knights, and they've done quite a few knights in this series. This is a Legion Builder pack. I'm sure it has more of a name than that, but there's no actual branding on the package. I picked it up off BigBadToyStore.com. And you can see all these different heads, multiple weapons. There's a little bit of a accessory that's rattling around in there. An entirely different torso, shoulder pads, I believe 2 different shields. An immense amount of accessories. On the back here, it's just a very large piece of artwork with 2 of the characters from the series. Then some little portraits of other characters available from the line. So that being said, not too much to say about the packaging. Let's open them up. Hey guys, just a quick little step between the actual unboxing. I didn't realize this packaging is collector friendly. Just a little piece of tape holding the trays in. You just pop it right out. Now, the accessory tray, just so you guys appreciate how much this character comes with. There's all the weapons. And here's the actual figure with a different armor. Oh, a little loincloth piece just fell off. And 2 of the shoulder pad pieces had popped out, but just an immense amount of accessories. So let's move on to the actual figure. My God, this figure has a lot of customization options. I know for you guys it was instant, but I've been playing with this figure for probably the better part of an hour. Just swapping pieces out, trying to figure out what certain pieces do, because there are no instructions. And it has been a lot of fun. I mean, that's one of the things you don't get a lot as a collector, is to actually get a figure out and to, actually play with it a little bit. Like, oh, what does this do? And, get little surprises and things. As, for example, and I'm going to level with you guys straight up, I had to go to another review because I was just so confused on what these 3 pieces were. And apparently, Mythic Legions makes wings that you can customize your figures with. And you use these pieces to actually clip the wings in. So that's what these are for. And you can see the little notch in her back. I'm assuming it's a her. For the wings to go in. So, and I mean, I barely know where to start with this character. You get both shields. A neat little feature is both the shield's grips can be removed and put right back in. Very sturdy. Now, one quick thing I will mention is when I started to look at these lines, this is a deluxe figure. The base figures, apparently all the weapons are like a very flat, bland paint job, at least the earlier ones. So when they make these big packs, they like to give them a better paint job in case you want to swap them out. Like this spear has a lot of really nice bronze spotting and detailing, like it's aged, it's been used. And it's a very immense spear, as you can see here. Now, you've got her halberd, which again, a very tall weapon. You just peg that right on. It was separate in the package. I don't think there's any more customization you can do with this one, but I could be wrong. The dagger, which has a little bit of iron rust on it, a little bit of staining, which is intentional. You get this mace, which has got a really nice wooden weathered grip. You can pop the end off the mace and take this head, plug it on. So that's really nice to see. This immense axe. This is one of the ones that took me a little bit to figure out, because you get this other axe head, and I just keep messing with this. And I'm like, I don't know where this other axe head goes. And you can pop this spike off. It's a little bit tough. And you plug this one right in there, and now you got a double-headed axe, which again, it's a pretty immense compared to the figure. There's no way I'm going to get all the customization options in here that they have, so I apologize in advance. You get the 4 heads, which of course you have the one I have attached now, this helmet, this one, and this one, which you had attached in the packaging. So, very nice. An entirely separate torso. And I mean, just the detail on this is absurd. I mean, you can see the regular figure in the background, but this, the golden rivets, the silver studs, the buckles have their own layers of leather paint and yellow for the buckles. I mean, that is just insanity. You can see here on the back how the shoulder pads actually attach. These are the ones I don't have attached. There's just a little peg. You slide that on, pop it in, and it's on. And it has a little, you know, obviously it's in a joint so you can move it so it won't hinder your articulation near as much. And while we're on the subject of helmets, I have her with this plume on. The spike comes on the helmet. You can swap it out for the plume, which I prefer. And these 3 loincloth pieces, or I'm sure these all have technical names, and I'm going to tell you guys in advance, I don't know. So I apologize in advance. Hey, if you know, you can post it below and teach me something. So let's pop her up there. Right here again. This, of course, obviously matches up, but there's so much you could just change with this figure. It's so great. She also came with this little loop, little belt loop or leather belt. I have her short sword in the back here. Of course, I believe this is supposed to be a two-handed sword, but I've just got her, you know, using it in one hand with a shield. So, I mean, that is just an absurd amount of accessories. I mean, the customization that's available on these is insane. Now, real quick, let's go into the actual look of the figure I have here. And as I said with that torso, my God, there is some amazing detail. The level of paint, the level of sculpt, I mean, just how hard it was to get all those little intricate details in. The rivets are different shades. There's really nice chrome metallic blue throughout. It's a shame you can't put everything on at once. As much work as you can tell went into it. So, enough schmoozing about this figure. This is just a generic little NECA Toys display base. Pull out the sword here, as you can see the detail on the sword. The shield, again, sculpted detail, these runes, the studs. Very, very nice. Again, the plume plugs right into the helmet, which I really like. Swapping the figure's parts is extremely easy. They pop off, they pop right back on, even to some of the more extensive stuff. Because I looked online, a lot of people were talking about, oh God, I'm so nervous swapping these figures around, but, oh, and this part comes off. But honestly, out of all the figures I've had, these torso pieces honestly swap in and out with about the same level of difficulty that the Marvel Legends wrist swaps out, which is to say, not much at all. You know, you just keep pushing until you hear that audible click and boom, your new knight is ready to go. So, I mean, just, I'm swapping her up here mid-review, but I mean, you can just see it already looks like a totally different toy, and that's insane. But I am pretty fond of the way I had her, so let's get her back. Now, again, this is my first Mythic Legions figure. Here it is. I am already in love with this line, and the thing is, they make so much. Like, I'm definitely going to go after knights, at least to begin with, mainly knights. Oh, the hell head peg popped off. That's not a big deal. But, they make goblins, they make vampires, they make, you know, giant eagle creatures. They've got some figures that are clearly supposed to be, you know, like homages to Masters of the Universe, which is a line the Four Horsemen worked on before. That head joint does not want to go back in. 1 second, guys, we're going to do this off camera. Sorry about that, guys. That head joint, or neck joint rather, just got kind of jammed up in there. Popped out easy enough once I stopped worrying about the camera. And nothing broke, so that's always great. So, again, this line is immense. There's a bunch of knights, a bunch of fantasy characters. You know, if you just want straight up, you know, old school knights, you can do that. But, man, this is a fantastic line. Fantastically sculpted. Let's get on to the articulation. The head is on a ball joint. It's a little bit hard to work with this plume I've got on. As you can see, the plume does a full 3/16. It's a little peg there. Pop that back in. Again, the shoulder pads I've got put on move a little. If they weren't on at all, you could do a full 360. Go out to here. bend and spin at the elbow, spin at the gauntlet, and they spin and bend at the wrist, which even if you look in there in the joint, they've got it painted like bronze chainmail. That's fantastic level of detail. As far as the main abdomen articulation, there's a very slight crunch. Looks like a full 360. Ooh. I keep knocking this piece off as I handle it, so I'll leave it off till the end. The main waist spins. Looks like you can actually get a full 360 out of that as well. Legs go forward, back, out. The armor kind of works with it as you move. Spins at the quadricep. Is that double or single jointed? It's like a single jointed knee and a very nice ankle joint with an ankle pivot. So again, this is an absurd figure. I just never really, I'll have friends that bought Mythic Legions, and they're always posting pictures. I'm like, yeah, they look great, but they're kind of pricey, and that is true. But, before we go on to, as much as I've, taught this figure up, the deluxe army builder or at least this deluxe army builder for this line, costs $60. That's a lot to pay for a 6-inch toy. Now, am I disappointed I paid that much? No, I think it was absolutely worth it, especially with all the extra gear you got. And one of the big things people love to buy these, I understand from people who already collect this line, they love to buy these sets to redistribute the accessories that are better painted to the rest of their figures, which I definitely get. But you could have bought another one of these and had, or probably 3 or 4 of these and had 4 totally different looking figures. So, the regular Mythic Legion figures run you between $40 and $50. This isn't too much more than that. It is, again, pricey for a 6-inch, but if you're like me and you just love these classic knights or any of the fantasy characters, the 4 Horsemen do absolutely astounding work. I can't recommend this figure highly enough for all the different gear, just how cool they look in general. So that being said, this is JTrain997. I'll definitely be picking up more Mythic Legions, and I highly recommend you guys do as well, and I'll see you soon, YouTube.